What's up, y'all? It's Anime K here, and we are back with another video. Now, today we're doing a little reaction video, but we're going to be talking as well. Don't worry, it's not going to be just me reacting. We're going to be talking over it. But we got a video today titled Himawari versus Sarada, who's something like that, something about Himawari and Sarada. Now, this is a conversation that's been going on recently, right? And it is a very valuable conversation. Now, I don't want to give too much of my opinion before I start the video. So, guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Let's get into it.
Sounding it, so don't worry about anything else right now. Okay. The only other one that isn't that, if you want to do it now, is hypothetically in the future, assuming both of them live and grow, who do you think will be stronger at their peak, Sarada or Himawari? I think this is actually a really interesting one to do right now.
I mean, I don't know if it's an interesting one at their peak, because at their peak, I feel like it's going to be Himawari. I feel like the better conversation is who would win in a fight right now. I do feel like it's a conversation. I feel like at the peaks, I don't know if that's really going to be a conversation. I don't feel like Sarada is going to be stronger than Himawari at a peak. I feel like Himawari already has more potential than Sarada, but we'd have to wait and see.
See, the problem is that you can make an argument for either one. So, starting with Sarada, you've got Sasuke's final conversation, basically. A, protect Sarada, and B, something's going on that only you and Sarada can handle. So it's like pairing those two to solve this great catastrophe. And rather than trying to protect him, with Himawari, Boruto just trying to save her, Boruto trusts Sarada to save herself. It's just like, hey, please don't die. But he trusts her to do that. Well, that's and then obviously Sarada's one of the members of Team 7. Kind of a little bit of a Sarada side of things. Himawari's case, though, what does Two Blue Vortex mean? Assuming the Vortex is related to the Minato manga, that's relating to Uzumaki. Okay, so Himawari then. It's not going to be Sarada. There's no Vortexing with Sarada unless she's got a Mangekyo Vortex Jutsu that we don't know of. So it's like, okay.
Well, at the end of chapter 1, it says the Vortex of Fate continues spinning forward now, or it's in reference to time or something. But I thought that was interesting. The story of the Vortex continues on once again.
But it's
with Himawari, you have the lock-on mode, the unexplained mysterious power that surprised Damon. You have the new Ninetales, which apparently she has a stronger affinity for that than anything. Yeah. You have what, to be fair, this doesn't apply to Himawari, but Toneri, when talking to Urashiki says, "What did you do to that woman's child?" So not referencing Naruto, something specific is about Hinata. But yeah, and I think Himawari would inherit the Hyuga genes better than Boruto did.
I didn't know about that, actually. Okay.
So I think whatever is applying to Boruto there, if Toneri did something there, I think that applies even stronger to Himawari.
Depends
in terms of the Hyuga's child, that woman's child. Yeah.
Look, guys, I feel like if you look at Kishimoto's writing, right, unless he kind of changes it a little bit, it's very clear that the two main characters of this story are going to be Himawari and Boruto. If you go off the title, Two Blue Vortex. Obviously, Sarada will play a big part in the story, obviously, right? Because we don't know she could be Boruto's love interest. She's going to get stronger. She's a new Uchiha. She's the daughter of Sasuke, who was a big character in the Naruto series. So obviously, Sarada will play a big part. But again, if I look at Kishimoto's writing, I don't know. I don't see Sarada really being as strong as Himawari. I feel like we haven't seen enough of Sarada really do much. Now, obviously, she did a good move on Sasuke's Shinju clone where she dodged it, hit him with a Chidori. Obviously, it didn't do much damage because he can heal fast, but we know she at least has the ability, right, to at least battle with them to a certain extent, right? And as she gets stronger, we could see her obviously improve and probably be able to battle them more further. Plus, we don't know her MS abilities yet because, again, the way she unlocked her MS was very different to any other Uchiha, so that could play a big factor in her having a better MS ability than any Uchiha we've ever seen. Plus, if you look at the current themes, with this generation, they're going to be stronger than the last generation. That's how it always is. You know, Naruto was stronger than his father. Sasuke was more stronger than his father and his brother. So if we follow that theme, they will be strong. But obviously the conversation is who will be stronger at their peak. Again, guys, I don't know. I really don't see Sarada being stronger than Himawari at her peak. Because Himawari right now, she's already, in some cases, right, in terms of potential, she's already surpassed Naruto in potential, right? I know that's a hard thing to say and that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, but if you look in terms of just potential, she's already surpassed him. She can already heal faster than him, right? She can already use Biju bombs, which a lot of people are surprised about. Am I surprised about that? I guess it is surprising, but at the same time, one, she has a different relationship with Kurama. Maybe it was a bit too early to make a control tell beast bombs. Maybe I would agree with you guys there, but you gotta understand her relationship with Kurama will be different than Naruto's one, because Kurama was just sealed inside Naruto, whereas Himawari, it looks like he was always there and they're one in the same. Do you know what I mean? So it's a really tough one. I feel like the better conversation is to argue who would win right now. I generally feel like that's a conversation, but let's continue in the video though.
And again, it's like the first time that the two bloodlines have come back together, so we don't know what's going to happen. And she's still young as well. And so coming out of this rage form after Inojin, she's probably going to take her training a lot more seriously. She wants to be a ninja after the end of Omnipotence. So she's, like I said, going to be very dedicated now. She's going to seemingly be working with Kurama, who from the get-go is being friendly with Himawari to some extent and like a tutor, mentor, guide to some degree, it seems like. And that's pretty much all with that. With Sarada, some other things that we didn't mention is the fact that she's probably going to get her Mangekyo, probably internal at some point, maybe even the Rinnegan. We'll see about any of that. We don't know what her Mangekyo does. It was awakened out of love, not out of hatred, so that might scale upwards. She wants to train with Mitsuki to be Otsutsuki tier. She's taken out Hidari right now, and so she should be pretty strong, seemingly. And like you said, like the omnipotence thing. So she's going to be relevant in the future as well.
Yeah. I mean, realistically speaking, unless Himawari is referenced in that title as Two Blue Vortex, and she's going to, like, actually match Boruto. So, like, you know how, like, Naruto and Sasuke are the duo that are equal. Unless Himawari is going to be like that with Boruto on his level, which we know Kawaki, at least up until the end of Kawaki anyway, is if Kawaki dies midway, that'll end that part. But Kawaki's probably going to be like that with Boruto as well, for as long as he's around at least. So it kind of depends. Like, I don't really see Sarada being like Sasuke in Naruto with Boruto. Like, I would see Kawaki being that, obviously. And then maybe Himawari because of the Two Blue Vortex thing. If they're both going to be like Sakura, you know, and Kakashi, not the two in the duo, I feel like it's going to be kind of like the same. They'll be like pretty much the same strength, give or take, versus one being overwhelmingly over the other. So I might have to pick Himawari in terms of having greater potential. I think Himawari, who will actually get stronger, it might be Sarada, not because of potential, but because she just works harder and is more relevant. But it's tough to say.
Again, he's saying all the same, Kamui saying all the same stuff I'm basically saying. I just feel like, again, you gotta remember, Himawari is Naruto's kid, so I feel like, again, if you just look at the writing of Naruto, again, Sarada could be stronger than Himawari, but I don't know. The potential that she has, and if everything plays off, a lot of the theories that people had plays off, right? She might not just have Kurama, she might also have the Tensei gun. But again, we don't know what Sarada's MS abilities are, so it's really tough. But if someone was like, yo, gun to your head right now, who are you picking? I would probably pick Himawari, being honest. But it's a very interesting conversation. I actually wish I was on the podcast for this conversation, actually, because it's a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, Himawari has 2-in-1, whereas Sarada has 1-in-1, so that's like double the growth right there. Himawari might have more chakra quantity in general as well, especially based on one of the translations. The Japanese doesn't make it clear whether the affinities because she has more chakra than Naruto or more quality chakra than Naruto. I don't think Kid Himawari has more chakra than Naruto, but who knows?
No, there's no way.
That's
Like it's affinity, so I don't think the amount of chakra makes
Yeah.
any sense at all. Otherwise, Kushina wouldn't have had an affinity. It's because of her chakra in general.
So
Chakra
yeah, the
type,
way I'm
quality
like
of her
looking
chakra.
at it is it's kind of like the Karma Seal same wavelength thing, to where it doesn't have to be on the same wavelength thing, but the point is it's just like there's some unknown connection between them that just works, you know. So Himawari and Krama, they might be on the same wavelength and their chakras just resonate better, whatever the specifics they want to say is, something along those lines, and it just is the case for regardless of why.
Yeah. So this is completely unfair to ask this right now, considering we have no idea for either character, not even an inkling of where they scale. But current Sarada versus current Himawari, who do you have?
The
And
one
we're
with
gonna
the Biki
give
mode.
the Rage Himawari. But
So-
I don't know if it's fair in that case to give Sarada her Mangekyo because we don't know what it does.
Yeah, I was gonna
You could
say,
give her.
like-
How about this? We don't give her the Mangekyo ability, but we give her the amp that the Mangekyo would give her. So whatever like speed increase, for example, it automatically passively has. So also taking out the ridiculous stretch reach nonsensical scaling that it might be there, like she speed blitzed Hidari, or or Himawari is unlimited Baryon mode that's gonna defeat even Jura. So if we remove both of those as
So,
possible
part of
outliers
this is
and
that,
thinking realistically.
So I'm like, I feel like I can't help but guess what the next chapter will look like. And
Yeah.
in Himawari's case, I kind of expect her to kind of like go ham for a bit. It's not gonna amount to anything. Like whether Jurek gets tossed around or not, he will be fine at the end. He's not. I really don't expect him to be critically injured and forced to retreat. Okay, if that happens, I'm gonna fake drop the series. So in terms of what I expect, I would say Jura's either just gonna like dodge every attack and just be like, wow, you're crazy, or get tossed around kind of like Orochimaru with Tsunade.
Did they record this before chapter 10 came out? Or chapter 11? So what's the latest chapter out right now? Chapter 10, right? I think they recorded this before I think they recorded this before chapter 11 came out. It seems like, because they're basically right. Jura basically got back up, didn't he? And was barely even hurt. So
Tsunade, but it just doesn't amount to anything. He's just fine, doesn't feel it. With that in mind, I don't expect Sarada to be ragdolling Hidari, a serious Hidari, and I don't expect her to beat him either. And I think that Jura is probably a lot stronger than Hidari based off of what we've seen just overall. I think he's just like, well, we can get into some scaling based off what we've seen, but I feel like Jura's got the speed of Bug, the smarts of Hidari, and the ranged attacks of Monster. Like, I feel like he kind of just, even though he doesn't have the specific jutsu of them, I feel like he has the strengths of all three of them in one. So I think Jura's just is on another level. So all that's to say, if Sarada is just kind of like Himawari, where she's put up a good fight on Hidari, but she can't win, and then same with Himawari to Jura, I feel like I'm picking Himawari. That's obviously assuming Sarada doesn't like just beat Hidari with her Mangekyo abilities or something, but
Yeah, if we're
it's also
removing
assuming
that,
Himawari does
then
anything next chapter. But
yeah. Well, to be fair, the thing is with
yeah, so they recorded this before. So if you look at hindsight now, if you look at context now, Himawari, basically after what she did to Hidori, he dodged her tail beast bomb, right? He dodged her tail beast bomb. I don't think he was hit by it. And then after that, he kind of just said, okay, I'm going to try now. So she does kind of force him to want to, not force him, but she makes him want to try a bit. So she at least has, Himawari at least has some power where he's like, okay, I'm gonna try it now. And then if you go back to Sarada's fight, after it, she just gets electrocuted straight away. So if you do look at those two scenarios, right now, maybe you could put Himawari over Sarada. But I do think the better conversation is who's stronger right now. If I had to pick who's stronger right now, again, we don't know Sarada's MS abilities, but from what we've just seen, just from eye tests, it could possibly be Himawari. Because she has the Tail Beast Bomb, she has the healing factor, right? Obviously, Sarada does have the Shy Grin, so obviously she could maneuver in that way, right? But Himawari probably has more big power attacks, right, to kind of catch her off guard. Obviously, plus with her Rage Mode as well, that would help her move faster as well. So I don't want to give it to Himawari right now, because I always feel like it's disrespecting Sarada. But it's a very tough one, guys. It is a very tough one. And we're going to finish this video out quickly, and then I'll give my opinion in the outro.
With the Ninetales, even if Sarada hits her with a Chidori, like we've already seen what happens, she'll just heal it and become even stronger.
All right, guys, that's the video. Let me know. You guys go check out their channel, great podcast, right? Again, I think my lasting thoughts would be, in terms of potential, it's definitely Himawari right now. We don't know Sarada's MS abilities, but again, I think even then, Himawari's potential is still probably going to be higher. So I think that in that terms of that conversation, who will be stronger at the peaks, I'll probably give it to Himawari. And right now, I don't want to be disrespectful to Sarada, so I'll give it to Sarada. She's a more experienced ninja, so Himawari's just starting out. I know she has more potential, but right now, I'll give it to Sarada. But as terms of potential and who will be more powerful at their peaks, from what I've seen right now, I'll give it to Himawari. Of course, once we see more of them, right, and once Sarada starts to show her MS abilities and Himawari starts to get better with Kurama, and what we could potentially see more from her, right, maybe the Tensei Gun, we'll have to see. But again, I'll give it to Himawari in terms of potential. Right now, I'll give it to Sarada. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Who's stronger in terms of their peak powers? Who could be stronger in terms of their peak powers? Or who's stronger right now? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you agree or disagree with any of the points I made or any of the guys made in this video. But guys, this is Anime K. Peace, I'm out.